The moon is in Gemini. The moon will conjunct Mars, and that's some Marsy fucking weather right there. We still have the grand trine happening, which is a beauty for working out hard things in our life and just seeing resolutions. But at the same time, if Mars in the sky is always working on our physical drive, how aggressive we are, how we could violently react, how our sex drive is, if we're the aggressive one in bed, if we are the passive one, all of those sort of things. Are we willing to go out and fight for what is right, or are we iffy about it? Gemini is very iffy. They are very both-sided about things, where they're willing to listen to all the information, but they don't seem to sometimes be able to put their foot down and say, okay, it's this. I'm going to stay here. They're always wandering around and keep wandering everywhere. Little bits of info. You can see that in Max when he talks. It's all over the place. He has Mars by the 11th house, so he loves to come out and show us all these bazillion bits of information that he's mulling over. And willing to bring up hard subjects. Scorpio moon, but also Sagittarius, willing to bring expansion to them, trying to get other people to respond to him all the time, and get other people's opinions and get his juices flowing for what he's going to talk about next. It's very Max, and it's very mutable. I mean, you could tell he's a nice guy, but the things that he says sometimes are so intense that others are scared. It's the same with me. If I come out saying some of the things I've said on here before, I get my whole channels removed. And agreeing with Eric on certain things that he might have said before, fuck yeah, I will. And some of you don't know what Eric did for me. I mean, not just Flat Earth, but I am granddaughter of a Hitler Youth soldier. So when I found Eric's view on that and realized there was this whole world of revisionism, is that a word? Revisionists. As soon as I realized that, I don't know, try to put yourself in my shoes. I went my whole life thinking that Germans were monsters and that they would kill and poison and do all of this disgusting shit. And then at the same time, as a little girl, I would go to my dad's house, and my grandpa sat me down one day and said, look, it's Mary. Yeah, Mary. And then he opened the photo album and pointed, that's me. And it was a little boy with a fucking swastika uniform on. And all I had ever heard was all of this terrible stuff about the Germans, just fucking terrible, in public school in Canada. So for me, you see what I mean about the Scorpio attachment? He absolutely transformed the way I saw my whole fucking roots, my whole life, my whole family structure was absolutely transformed. Just meeting Eric and finding somebody who put the Marsy drive into my feelings. He's affecting my feelings way more than he knows. And I can say it, but I wish he could just come inside, and feel how I'm feeling. That sounds perverted. But it is fucking intense, you guys. And I will never let that go. The guy just made me feel good about myself in so many ways that you might not realize, if you're German, how shitty you feel about yourself. Movie, TV, they'll all mention it. It's on signs everywhere. Oh, what those Germans did, and they're fucking monsters. It felt really good to find that and to come to some peace with that. Anyway, that's Mars, and that's Scorpio. It's not afraid, and Max isn't afraid to say that stuff either. He'll say that stuff and get his channels removed and blocked too, like I do. And a lot of people, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear you saying something bad about those people that we're not supposed to say bad things about. Well, I fucking can't help it. They should stop doing shitty fucking things that we can point at. sit down, bend over and take it. I don't fucking think so. Anyway, I'm gonna re-listen to this and see what I said because I can't remember now. Okay, yeah, I think what I said is pretty funny and Mars moon related, so I'm gonna leave that. When the moon conjuncts Mars, our feelings are affected, and it's in a warlike way. Something so intense that it shakes you to your core. And so yeah, that is very fitting for how Eric and I get along. And it's very fitting for right now, because Moon is going to be with Mars tomorrow night, something like that, around there. Look it up. And what I expect, though, since Mars is in that grand trine with the Sun and Saturn, I expect that deep-rooted things are going to come up all over the place for a lot of people, all at the same time. It will all be different. Each one will experience something different, but it will be something deep-rooted down to your core that is resolved, that has resolution coming to it. And yeah, I can see how that's affecting me personally and other people's charts all floating around in my head. It's all slightly different. But in a general sense, something that could shake you to the core. You might have a realization of that. And when I say it's general weather, people who have things where Venus and Sun are, and Saturn, so people who have Aquarius 18 degrees, they have Saturn right on their Sun. So that lesson is going to be right in their face. Maybe they're in jail right now, and that's the lesson. Like, it's something so restrictive and so right in their face. They can obviously see it. Or maybe if it's Mars right on their shit, well, that is the one that we would call Mr., even though we don't live together and we argue a lot. We have been staying together for 19 years, putting up with each other. And he is a Gemini. He has 3 things in Gemini from 22 degrees and to 25 degrees. So he has Mars right on his shit right now. He's working 2 different jobs, taking our middle daughter to school because she wanted to go to public school and be the rebel of the family, and to her job because she also has a job. And then he's also giving my son rides, who he has basically adopted at this point. He has been my son's father for almost 19 years, and my son was born in the year 2000 with a different man who was very abusive to me. Anyways, yes, you would expect somebody with around 23 degrees of Gemini to be in a fucking hustle and bustle mode right now, and he is. He is burning around like crazy. And then just a few days ago, right when it was 22 degrees, so it was trine my Mars, square my moon, oh my god, fucking with my emotions so bad, and his at the same time. I emailed him this really long dream that I had in the middle of the night, which I know woke him up, and it was just not a nice thing for him to be reading. So that, I know that affected him too, and yeah, warning. Mars is a warning, and Mars together with Moon could bring you some clarity on your family, on your roots, your feelings, your nurturing, how you were nurtured, how people's aggression works, how people's drives work, and how they're different than your own. And really just maybe how you become enraged. What stirs these feelings in you? Maybe you realize that, and you get more of a hold on it and can control it better as this Mars and Moon conjunction happens. Perhaps that is the grand trine lesson for it, for someone anyway. I know my message is speaking to someone in the community today, someone in God's house. Amen.